And it would be pretty amazing if we had a Black female president of the United States.
Yes, it would.
So,
It would.
I
And
don't
it would
know.
be that kind of change that would be a shock to the system. And then if we stopped having that same kind of openness, that would be another shock to the system. I mean, it's very similar to, I mean, it's very similar to what you were talking about with the cloud stuff.
Termination shock.
Oh, yeah,
Termination shock.
shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Right.
like when you make slow changes, they have more probability of being sustainable, is my thesis.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll see.
Right. And so, but her just being a Black woman president, I don't think matters as much. I mean, to me, it's like that's important. And the reason why that's important is because of her experiences and how that has shaped her brain and who she will be and how she will lead. I think that's the part that is missing sometimes in conversations about what ends up being called identity politics, is the idea like, oh no, it's not just like, oh, there's a person of color, and so you know, you have someone representing people who have been represented for a long period of time. That's important. But even more important is people's, because of the way our culture works, people's body shape and body color, that affects their brains because it affects their lifelong experience of how they've been treated and what they've had to work through. And I just feel like we don't talk about that enough. So it gets confusing to people about why are you paying attention to these things that we're supposed to ignore or be blind to.
Yeah, I don't mean to sound cynical here. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but you know, Kamala Harris, if she becomes president, may not be the, you know, transitional figure that we've just described. And, you know, I expect that she will disappoint us. And in fact, when I had people that I managed, I always used to say at the beginning to the team or the group, I would say, look, I will disappoint you at some points. I will disappoint you. I am not completely the person you know, that I'm even projecting to be, right?
Right.
You're seeing me on a good day, right? But at believing, you know, in the kind of the long-term effects of all of this, it may be that Kamala Harris or someone like that, a transformational leader, inspires a group of other people who they are the ones who really are the ones who bring in the different temperament, and they only come forward because of the example of Kamala Harris. So I just don't, I mean, I expect that she will be in her own way, you know, as manipulative, transactional, controlling as we're accustomed to, because that's the ladder that she had to climb.
Right.
But
But she
she's
also
still
has,
aware. She's still aware of other things.
that's
She's
right.
more aware of alternatives than someone clearly like Donald Trump.
She, that's the ladder she had to climb, but she also has changed, even in the time that she's been vice
Of course
president.
she's changed, yes.
Yeah. And so she's both aware of the ladder that you have to climb and also self-aware enough to see, oh, I could be in this state of sort of a slightly different state and use my femininity. I think, now maybe this is being idealistic, but I think she could say, I want to use my femininity to be somewhat humble and speak the truth about, frankly, everyone's disappointing. Everyone disappoints you. That's the reality. There's no generation of people who's going to come and be like, yeah, we're perfect. That's
Yes.
a disaster. That's a disaster.
Right.
So if she can grasp onto the reality of that, I think her choice of VP suggests that, because I'm from the Midwest, I would say that person's a Midwestern practical person who sees the reality of everyone's a mixed bag. I think, I don't know, I'm going to go with maybe less disappointed than you think.
Yes.